There's been a statement made to my girlfriend that she was going to go in the bedroom and shoot me in the head.
I did it because of all he's done to me. He's so hateful.
On a quiet Arizona day, operators in Fountain Hills received a terrifying call.
Get away! Get away! Ah! She's got the gun! She's got the gun! I'm afraid I don't want to shoot her!
A woman was screaming that her boyfriend had just been shot, and the shooter was his 92-year-old mother. But when police arrived and confronted the suspect, they didn't find a raging monster. Instead, they stumbled onto a story far more shocking and tragic than anything they could have imagined.
With everything that's happened now that you've had a chance to look back, what do you think should happen right now? What do you think should happen next?
Well, I probably ought to be put to sleep.
On June 10th, 2018, a dispatcher in Maricopa County, Arizona, received a call that shattered the peace of the community. The caller was Julie Thomas, frantically reporting that her boyfriend, 72-year-old Thomas Blessing, had just been shot, and the alleged shooter was none other than his 92-year-old mother, Anna Mae Blessing.
Oh my God! Her son's dead. I think. Me too. She's gonna kill me. She's gonna kill me. She comes. She's coming for me. No! Don't you dare, Ann! Don't you dare!
Not only had the elderly grandmother shot her own son, she was now threatening to shoot his girlfriend as well. By the time officers arrived, Julie was outside, frantically waving them down and shouting for help. Inside, the scene was even more tense. The suspect, a 92-year-old woman, armed, silent, and waiting.
She still has the gun.
She has the gun.
Were you the one on the phone?
Yes, there's another gun on the floor on the other side of the back bedroom door. I was waiting against that one. We had a report to our police officer that there were two guns in the house and she was going to shoot us. And he couldn't do anything. His mother
And?
was frightened. Anna Blessing.
Why did she do this?
She hates him. He hates her. We moved her out here a year ago.
Anna, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Anna, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I need you to put the gun down now. Anna, Sheriff's Office. Anna, can you hear us? Anna, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. I need you to put the gun down and come out with your hands up.
Minutes stretched on. Was Anna hiding, waiting, or worse? They were soon about to find out.
743, we're inside. However, we can't get her to come out and put the gun down.
Denver, they 10-4, you're inside, can't get her to come out.
Anna, put the gun down! I need you to walk toward us with your hands up in the air. Anna, I know you can hear me. I need you to put the gun down and walk out toward me. Anna, then if you don't have the gun, can you walk out in the living room with your hands up in the air? She says we can come into the bedroom. She's not walking out. You want to go any closer? Anna, this is what I need to do. I need you to come to me. I cannot come to you. Anna! Keep your hands where I can see them. No sudden movements, you understand? You understand me?
Okay, I got the pistol. You drop your rifle. Anna, you alright? Where's your gun? Where's your gun? Okay. Is there anybody else in the unit? Is there anybody else here? Julie's outside. You're here. Your son is here. Is there anybody else here? Okay. Just watch her for a second.
Anna, stop! Any any movement. Do not make any movement.
The officers found the grandmother calmly seated in a chair, as if she were waiting to be arrested.
Let me turn it around for you.
Inside the interrogation room, Anna Mae Blessing sat as a tired but determined old woman, and almost right away, she clears any doubt about why she is here, not by speaking to the detective, but by giving her first confession to God himself.
I had, when I lived in Florida, before I came here, I had a 20-foot by 20-foot garden that I took care of. I had a small rototiller. I tilled it. I had fresh vegetables in my home. I had a beautiful garden. Because I'm a farmer at heart. And then you come to Arizona and you get stuck in a room and nobody talks to you. You know, I got thinking when I was in there, how many millions of other old people this happens to. Mm. You have no idea what goes on in a home with an old person. It's just ridiculous.
Somebody will be back in a few minutes to check on you, okay? Make sure you're doing okay. Okay?
Better close the door and lock it.
I'm gonna close the door, okay? Just give you some privacy.
Can I have my water?
Your water, when you want to drink, we'll be back in a few minutes, okay?
Okay, I'll lay down. Dear Heavenly Father, I know what I have done, and I know it's a sin. But my Heavenly Father, I'm asking you for forgiveness for all He. I did it because of all He's done to me. He's so hateful. I never heard a strong word out of his mouth till him and Julie come down. I swear I never. Please forgive me, Lord, for I know I have sinned.
This isn't the rambling of someone with dementia. She's already seeking absolution, but from God, not the law. This immediately frames her actions in a moral, not just criminal, context. But it's her next statement that sends a chill down the spine.
I know what I did. What I set out to do.
Was this a spontaneous act of passion or a premeditated mission? The officers need to know. The lead detective enters the room and begins to gently probe, and Anna doesn't hesitate.
I briefly introduced myself before, but my name is Tom Sedlicek.
Pardon?
My name is Tom Sedlicek, and I'm a detective with the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
Okay? Right now.
Needs have gone. That one's gone dead.
Okay. Are you able to hear me this close? Before we get started, do you need to use the restroom or anything, or are you okay?
Well, I'm okay.
She paints a picture that no elderly person should go through, revealing a truth darker and far sadder than anyone expected.
So what I would like for you to do is to walk me through everything that happened from the time that you woke up this morning, Anna, all the way up until me coming in here and talking to you right now.
Well, can I, first of all, tell you what led up to this, what brought it on?
Absolutely.
Ever since we got to Florida, well, it's to Arizona, started in Florida, and why I came with him, I'll never know. But Tom has a very foul mouth, and he's had 2 years and 2 months of anger management because he used to beat his stepson. That was years ago. That was in Oregon. And his wife turned him in for beating the kids. And he had, not only that, but he had a very foul mouth. He was one of the most domineering persons I've ever known. Extremely domineering. He expects everybody to hump for him. And if not, you can get called almost anything.
According to Anna, her son wasn't just controlling, but outright abusive towards her. She even remembers an argument over something as small as a household item that became a symbol of everything she'd lost.
When we lived down in Black Canyon, him and Julie had the bedroom not too far from where mine was, rather close. And he used to set that thermostat so cold. And I would go out once in a while and turn it up a little bit, a couple degrees up, because there was no need for it. But he seemed to feel there was. And one day I walked out to the kitchen and where he was, and I said, Tom, I said, could you and I have a common sense talk about the thermostat, real quiet like? Because he's very, very loud and mouthy, and he came up to me and he got his face right down next to mine, and he said, you F&B, he says, I'll talk to you any way I want to.
What's striking here is Anna's body language. She fidgets with her hands, her voice wavering at times with emotion, yet her story remains detailed, coherent, and filled with decades of resentment. Unlike most suspects, Anna doesn't hesitate to lay bare what she and her son did to each other. The detective, patient and methodical, lets her speak whatever's on her mind. Every word adds to his timeline, but more importantly, it builds the psychological profile he needs.
Now, you had said that you were living in Florida before?
Yeah.
Was Thomas also living out in Florida?
No, I want to tell you about Florida. My husband and I lived there for 20 years before he passed. Well, he had 25 years by the time I moved. But my husband passed away in 2008 from cancer. I was his caregiver. And Tom came down to visit us, and I've never heard a foul word out of that kid's mouth until he came down with Julie.
Did there come a point where, you're in Florida at the time, did there come a point where you could no longer wanted to live in Florida and that you decided that you were going to come live with Thomas?
I would like for him to have moved to Florida, but he wouldn't. The only reason I moved with Tom is that by the time I'm 93, I will lose an annuity that I have. And the rent there was atrocious. And that would have knocked me out good. And so he said, we'll do it now. And so that's why I came. But Tom has always, ever since his father passed away, him and his dad talked about it, was when he passed, he would see to it that I never had to go to a nursing home. And I don't know that Bill made him promise or anything like that, but from what I understand, it was discussed. But anyway, Tom has always promised me, Mom, you'll never have to go to a nursing home. You will never have to go to a nursing home. I will always take care of you. So, I just took it for granted, because I know Bill always made me promise him that I wouldn't send him up to the nursing home where we lived. He said, if you do, I'll haunt you.
Her voice doesn't break with anger, it breaks with loneliness. Anna carried a deep, unshakable fear of abandonment, one she had once promised her dying husband he'd be spared from. But when her own son met that fear with callous disregard, the outcome became tragically inevitable. However, what makes this case even more devastating is that it was actually foreseeable. Just days before the shooting, Thomas himself called the police, expressing his own fears about his mother's increasingly erratic behavior.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Hot enough for you?
It is.
Just start us something.
Yeah. What's going on?
There was an officer out today.
Uh-huh.
Talked to my mother.
Okay.
About her gun. There's been a statement made to my girlfriend that she was going to go in the bedroom and shoot me in the head. We don't get along.
Okay.
I brought her back from. We brought her back from Florida because she couldn't afford to live there. So, and we are putting her in a nursing home.
Okay.
Trying to. And she just. There's not much we can, do. The woman is getting very senile, very angry. She knows how to push my buttons, my mother,
Right.
And my daughter would come in. She's been here, hasn't been here just one day, and come in. I haven't seen her in over 20 years, and she took my mother yesterday for the day, to do some things and everything else. And my daughter said that, my daughter's supposed to be here pretty soon, said that all she did was gossip all day. And she kept telling her, Grandma, you can't do that. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to listen to your gossip. I'm here because I haven't seen you, And so it's just been a...
Does she have access to a gun?
Oh, she has a gun, yeah. The officer here today asked about it. She was asking him about the laws in Arizona and all that. And I told my girlfriend, I said, well, if she's made a threat, I'm going to say more than likely they're going to either pull her gun or get a hold of senior services.
Mm-hmm.
Do something. We're getting ready to go on vacation Monday. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hi.
And she cooks her own meals, takes care of herself, takes her own bath, dresses herself, and everything. We take her to the store, she buys her groceries and everything. And we haven't done anything for over a year now. And we decided we were going to go for a week. Just relax. Forget about everything.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to get this taken care of before we left, one way or another. No telling what she'll do, I have no idea.
Okay.
Because she's on and on.
Thomas knew his mother had a gun. He knew she was angry about the possibility of being put in a home. He saw the warning signs as clearly as anyone, yet the system still offered no solution.
Or do you have power of attorney on her?
No.
Okay. Well, as far as the gun goes, I don't know. I'm not sure what the deputy talked about earlier, but if it's a process to take someone's gun from them.
Even with a threat?
Well, she didn't specifically say the threat to you, correct?
No, she said it's my girlfriend.
Okay. She's allowed to own the gun in Arizona. She's allowed to defend herself, whatever means. She just has to justify what she does.
Well, I'm laying in bed, she shoots me in the head. That's not much justification.
Not specifically to you. I'm just saying in general.
Right.
So that's why Arizona's pretty lenient on their gun laws.
Right, I know that.
People
I
are able
carry,
to have it.
so,
yeah.
It's nothing new.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't much when the deputy was here earlier that he can do, and there's not much I can do.
Okay. I just wanted to get out what's going on.
Right.
Arizona's permissive gun laws meant police could not preemptively remove her firearm. The very laws designed to protect rights created a pathway to this tragedy. Back in the interrogation room, Anna describes her life in Arizona as the kind of existence no elderly person should ever be left to endure.
I certainly didn't want to go up there either because I had run the gift shop up there and knew what was going on. And I wouldn't have wanted to have lived there up in the care center either.
Sure.
But when we left Florida and Tom was kind of misbehaving with his language, I told Julie, I said, I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to live with him. She says, don't worry about it.
So Hannah, what I'd like to do is I'd like to fast forward to today.
Yeah.
And what I'd like for you to do is to start by basically begin with you waking up this morning.
Yeah.
And then when you first woke up this morning, walk me through everything that happened
I
from the
didn't
time.
wake up this morning. I haven't slept for 3 nights because when they come in the house, they don't talk to me. They just walk straight on through. I stayed home I always stay home. But I took care of Jasper, Tom's cat, for 4 days, 5 days while they went on a vacation. That was fine because I had to stay home all the time anyway.
The independent woman who once tended a large garden was now trapped in a room, invisible, unseen, and forgotten. But the final breaking point came from Thomas himself, and it was one of the cruelest things she could hear, something that struck at her deepest fear.
Okay, so what was going through your mind the last 3 or 4 days? I mean, and what I'm trying to understand is if you were angry, if you were sad, if you were, if you felt depressed, if you were happy. Good.
Because they definitely were going to send me to a old people's home.
And what made you feel as though they were definitely going to send you to an old people's home?
They told me.
Did they tell you when they were going to send you to this?
Not exactly, but that I had to go. My granddaughter said to me that I was interfering with Tom and Brenda's affair, and I could have stood and sat and told her that one time when not too long ago, Julie came by me while I was working in the kitchen, and she said made some remark about their relationship. And I told her that, I asked her, I said, Julie, did you and your first husband ever have 3 in the bed? And she says, no, we never believed in it. I says, well, I said, then how about you and Tom and Jack Daniels? Not another word was said. Either way, she didn't say anything more, and I didn't say anything more. That was it.
Okay. Last night, were things normal in the house as normal as they can be last night, or did you guys have any disagreements or any discussions last night?
When they come in the door, they head for the bedroom, and they get into bed. They lay there and watch television. I'm at the other end of the house where I'm sitting in a chair watching television because I have nobody to talk to.
Okay.
I might as well not have a speaking voice.
Was there a point this morning, sometime in the morning, where you went into their bedroom? You went into the master bedroom where Tom and Julie sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. So why did you decide to go into the bedroom?
Well, I figured if I didn't get it done, it wouldn't get solved.
Okay, what is it that you wanted to get done?
Well, first I started to talk with Tom about the situation, and he says, well, we could have left you in Florida, and when your money ran out, you'd be out on the street. And I almost think that would have been better. But this morning I was tired. I hadn't slept for so long. And they had been ignoring me so thoroughly. And
Were you upset? Were you angry when you went in there?
kinda, yeah.
Okay. Were there any other feelings that were going through your head, through your mind at that point?
No, but until Tom started in on me, and
Okay, what exactly did Tom tell you?
I can't remember exactly.
Okay. How did, whatever it was that he told you, how did it make you feel?
No different than when he always gets on his rampage.
Okay, so you said he had made these mentions about it would have been better for you to stay in Florida?
To stay in Florida, well, I agree with him. It would have been better if I'd have stayed in Florida.
This fear of abandonment is one of the deepest anxieties among the elderly, especially when independence begins to slip away. For someone like Anna, already burdened with years of neglect and broken promises, those words were devastating, which is why, half an hour into the interrogation, the detective knows they're closing in on the truth. All that remains is for Anna to confirm what happened that morning, and she does.
What happens next after you have this discussion with Tom?
Well, I had my gun, and I used it because they were going to send me to home.
Okay. So you had your gun. What kind of gun did you have?
It was a Charter Arms.
Charter Arms? And what caliber?
I can't remember the caliber. It was a good size one.
So when you go into the bedroom and you have this Charter Arms gun, and you said that you don't have the hammer resting on a bullet. Okay. When you go in there, where is the Charter Arms gun?
In my pocket.
This detail is critical. These weren't new guns. They were relics of her past life, perhaps of a time when she felt more in control. In her mind, the only way to take that control back was by doing something irreversible. So when the detective presses her on exactly what she did to reclaim her independence, the truth she reveals is nothing short of horrific.
And then I backed out and came over, and there Julie came at me from this direction for some reason. And so I pulled my gun out. I was gonna shoot her.
Okay, well let's first, you walk into the room, you've got your gun.
Yeah.
This is before you and Tom have a discussion. Okay. When you go into the room initially and you talk to Tom, is your gun in your pocket?
Yeah.
Okay. And what causes you to remove your gun from your pocket?
When I left the room, started leaving the room, Julie come towards me. And I pulled it out, and I pulled the hammer back first and pulled it out. And she grabbed for it, and Tom came from this side, and I backed up and I pulled the trigger. And it broke the mirror, and I don't know what it did. And then Tom was going to come at me again, so I pulled the trigger again.
Okay, so you fired the gun twice? Okay. And when you fired the first round, you said hit the mirror?
I don't know. I think it hit him, but I'm not sure how.
The first round?
I'm not sure.
Okay. How about the second round?
I know the second round hit him.
Okay, where did it hit him?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But
So
I do know I killed him because Julie was over by her bed by then, and she had my gun, my Charter Arms, but I had my 25, and
The confession is unsettling. There's no drama or hysterics. But it doesn't stop there. Anna goes on to reveal a detail so cold and calculated, it's almost impossible to reconcile with a frail old woman in the chair.
I'd been over before I went back to my room. I'd been over and took his pulse, and there was no pulse. So I knew I killed him.
According to Anna, she needed confirmation that her son was actually dead because it was the only way to escape what she feared the most, the nursing home. But the story still wasn't over. In the next room, Julie, Thomas's girlfriend and the witness gave her account to the police, and what she described added a far more terrifying layer to Anna's act, one that stood in chilling contrast to the image of a desperate 92-year-old woman.
Those things more in depth in a minute, but if you can just kind of give me a quick version of what happened.
Oh, okay. I was up to this point, and I was in the bedroom area, and Anna came in, and she said to Tom, she says, you know, I don't like the way you treat me. And when that starts at all, I just dismiss myself because I don't get involved in those conversations. So I went behind Anne and into my dressing area where the bathtub and everything is. And of course the door closed, so I really couldn't came open, so I was in there. And I thought, Tom asked me, where are you going? And I said, I'm going to go in the other room, which just meant in there because I didn't want to get involved in the discussion at all. So I painted my fingernails actually, and I had time to I just got time to get to the last one when I heard the shot. And I recognized it as a bullet shot. And so I came out and I saw Tom on the floor, kind of like in midway between the door and the wall, and it was evident. I could see. Was it on his left side? I think it was on his left side. It was evident that he had been shot, but I couldn't see either of them until I pulled that door back, and that's when I saw him on the floor, her standing there with a gun, and so I looked down and I saw Tom. And I saw, that's what must have been on this side because he was on the floor, but he was totally flat. And then I ran behind my bed, so the other side by the window. I ran behind that, and Anne has macular degeneration, so she can't see real well. And so what I did is I got down, and she had the gun up, and so then every time I got my head up, she went like that. She never shot at me though. To my knowledge.
Is she saying anything at this point? Are you saying anything at this point?
I'm screaming, and you'll hear it on the 911 call. I was screaming hysterically, Anne, stop, put your gun down, and I got down. But every time I put my head up, she was standing there ready to shoot me, and I said, Anne, get down, no. Then I was on the floor, and I was on with 911 the whole time. And so I was watching her feet, and I could see Tom then, too. So I'm on the floor on the other side of the bed looking under the bed because I thought if she stays there, 911 will come, we'll be okay. But if she starts to come towards me, what do? It didn't occur to me, but I'm looking under there, and I did see her reach down, and she did check his neck, and it was on where the gunshot was. So I assumed it was going to be a fingerprint or something, I don't know. Then she just stood back up. I got back up thinking, okay, what are you going to do? Pulled the gun again towards me. I got back down. Then I saw her lift, right like here, his right arm. I'm looking under there, up, and then it dropped. And then I just kept watching, thinking, and I was yelling to the 911, please get the police here, kick down the door. I don't care what you do. She's going to kill me. There's no doubt I was frightened that she was actually going to kill me. She had a gun pointed. So then she started walking towards me, and I could see her feet under the bed. So I stuck my head up a little bit, and she had the gun down to her side. I think she's right-handed. Anyway, she had her gun down to her side, and I thought, okay, it's going to be all right. Not besides this, and I started to step towards her, thinking I was going to be able to, and she just, I got that gun away from her. It was a brown gun. And I believe I threw it. So I think it landed somewhere over near where I was or something, but I threw it because we were right in front of the dresser. There's a dresser in there. So she'd made it all the way to the dresser by the time and I'm like, Anne, no. And she got in her pocket, she pulled out another gun. She had a second gun. So she pulled out a second gun. And that's when I was so close to her. I didn't know what else to do, but I watched too many SUVs. I grabbed onto her and I was yelling, stop, Anne, stop. And she kept trying to come down. And so then I pushed her. I thought, I'm just going to try to force her down, as best I can. She's strong for 92, let me tell you. anyway, so I pushed her down, and when we fell down, it was right in that, right next to Tom, and just on the other side of him. And when I knocked her down, she took the gun and she kept trying to do this, and then she put it at my side, and I got it out of my side.
Julie describes Anna not as a desperate woman in a momentary breakdown, but as a persistent threat. So, who was the real Anna Mae at that moment? The helpless elder pushed past her limit, or a determined killer? Back in the interrogation room, the detective presses on the most crucial question to answer that question, the intent. And it's here that Anna begins to slip.
Went into the bedroom with the guns. Did you go in there with the intention to kill Tom?
Not really, but
Well, not really can mean a lot of things. So let's. When you went into the bedroom with the two guns, did you go in there with the intention to kill Tom?
What happened after that really isn't clear with me.
Okay.
In any way, shape, or form.
Did you go in there with the intent to kill Julie?
No.
So after you have shot the gun twice, you said you don't know what happens to the gun, but there's a point where you have a second gun?
I have an old 25.
Okay.
I had an old 25.
Where did you have that second gun?
My other pocket.
In your other pocket? And when did you pull that gun out?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you remember what you did with that gun? And what I mean by that is, do you remember if you pulled it out and just held it down by your side, or did you pull it out and pointed at someone or something else?
Julie was behind the bed and hollering at me, and I pointed the gun at her.
And how do you know Tom's dead?
I bent over before I left there and felt his pulse. There was none.
Her answer is a masterclass in psychological evasion. She dodges around the admission, but the evidence of premeditation is there. The two guns, the direct confrontation, the checked pulse. At this point, you might think a 92-year-old woman would show some trace of remorse, but when the detective finally asks about her feelings to gauge her state of mind, her response is something no one could have anticipated.
When you reached down and felt that he didn't have a pulse, how'd you feel?
I didn't have much of a feel, I guess, because you have no idea what he's put me through the last year. And before that, there was never a thing. Before Julie, nothing happened. I could not understand that. It didn't make sense to me.
Okay, when you felt that he was dead, I mean, did you feel like a sense of relief, like it's finally over? Did you feel any remorse? Did you feel sad for what had happened? I mean,
I don't know how I felt. I'll be honest with you, I really don't know how I felt.
how do you feel right now about what happened?
I wish I'd stayed in Florida.
Okay. Do you feel bad for what happened?
Yes, in the sense that I killed my own son. But in another way to look at it is he can't holler and scream at anybody else. And because, it could be mercifully. You have no idea how loud his voice would get and how vicious. He got after Julie, and he's given Julie a lot of hollers too.
Do you feel bad about what happened, what you did to Julie?
What he did to Julie?
Do you feel bad about what you did to Julie in the sense that you pointed a gun in her direction?
Yeah, kinda. But she's part of the trying to get me into a nursing home too, so I don't know that I do feel that bad because, since I've come from Florida, between the two of them, the promises that they've made to me, I was supposed to go out and get some summer shoes. I was supposed to go out and get some blouses. And they were going to take me out to to get some more clothes. Because when I left Florida, had planned on going up to shop for clothes before I left. But they couldn't take me up because they didn't figure they had enough time to do that and help finish the packing too. I don't know where things have gone wrong.
After decades of abuse and helplessness, Anna had hardened into the killer now sitting in front of the detective. As the interrogation winds down with the confession secured, the detective poses the ultimate question. Given everything, what does Anna believe should happen next? Her answer is beyond heartbreaking.
With everything that's happened now that you've had a chance to look back, what do you think should happen right now? What do you think should happen next?
Well, I probably ought to be put to sleep.
And what do you mean by that?
Done away with. I'm no longer any good to society. And,
why do you feel that way?
What can I do for society? I killed my son. Well, Tom has talked to Steve from Arizona, something or another. And Tom tried to tell me all the good points about it. But what kind of good points are there to somebody who's always been independent and on their own and been promised that they'll never have to live in a home? What are the good points?
Would you say that that's part of why you felt your life was over, because those things were going to be taken from you if you were going to be in a home?
Yeah. It's a sad day when your son don't want you anymore after he's promised over and over and over that I'd never have to live in a nursing home. And I talked to him on the phone one day, and before him and Julie came down, everything was just, we could talk about anything. I never heard him be harsh with his words or anything. I really think I don't know. Anyway, what was we discussing now?
In Anna's mind, her utility was already gone, stripped away by age and neglect long before she picked up the gun. The shooting was just the period at the end of the sentence. Anna Mae Blessing was charged with first-degree murder, but she never stood trial. Deemed incompetent due to her age and mental state, she died in 2020, 2 years later, a tragic end to a sad story. But her case really forces us to ask an uncomfortable question. When an elderly woman sees a prison cell as a better fate than the care we provide, where did we, as a society, fail first? Because the real crime here started long before the trigger was pulled. It was a crime of 1,000 cuts and a failure to see the profound suffering happening in plain sight. If you enjoyed our production and how we explained this case, please consider subscribing as it helps us out a ton. I'll see you next time.